All right, how you guys doing? This is your man, Captain Bogy, and welcome to the CREW After Hours. That's it. It's late. All right. So I got here Sgt Hess in the house. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, pretty good.
All right, so it looks like the rest of the Mohicans couldn't make it for a lot of different reasons, and I guess the true men have to just continue because the show must go on. If I was at a hospital, I'd have this webcam at the hospital bed. So
I thought about that. Yeah,
the show must go on, man.
that's it.
So all right, so Sgt Hess. So what we're going to be doing here is this topic one is going to be, I guess we'll call it a bogey roundtable. And then for topic two, we'll be doing Hess roundtable. Okay, so I want to give a quick recap on the last episode we did again for season 2, episode number 15. We had our special host, Gino. And for that one there, we talked about top 5 favorite movie actors of all time, which mine came out to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael J. Fox, Al Pacino, Tom Hanks, and Humphrey Bogart. And then the second topic was top 5 favorite movie characters of all time. So mine came out to be Rambo, Darth Vader, James Bond, Spider-Man, and Marty McFly. And as many know, Back to the Future is my top favorite movie of all freaking time. So if you guys haven't seen that episode, definitely check it out. We had a great spirited conversation. Everyone got to share, their top 5 and expand on it as to the why. So go ahead and check it out on our YouTube page. Just type in The CREW After Hours. All right. So for Bogey's Roundtable, I have my 10 topics that I want to go ahead and share with you guys. So many things that we do in over time, and I've kind of accumulated this list, trying to get to share it, in all the different episodes. But here I finally will be able to. All right, so at number 10, just wanted to share. Last week, I had a family vacation where my mother from New York came to is here visiting for a month. So she's at my sister's in Orlando, and I was able to take a week off. So I had a wonderful time. And then the last few days of my trip, we went up to Jacksonville to visit my tia Candela. And she went ahead and gave us some sightseeing tour. And Jacksonville is a beautiful place. Some of the things that we got to experience was a spring pool. So a natural spring coming out of the ground that is fed into a pool. So a normal looking pool. Now, the only bad thing about it is that the water is freezing. It's just cold because it's the natural spring water. So it has no heating or anything like that, or an opportunity to warm up like most pools do out there. After the water enters the pool, it's there in the pool, and then at the end of the other side of the pool, it actually goes into the ocean. So it's a very interesting, concept. I've never been in a pool like that, but yeah, it was extremely cold. So we tried to enjoy it as best as we could. Aside from the pool, we got to visit the landing park, which was a very wonderful place to walk at nighttime. So we were there around, I would say, 9 p.m. And you can see, on the other side of the river skyline of downtown Jacksonville. So that was awesome. We got to visit a Pan Asian cuisine restaurant, a nice little restaurant, very exclusive. Wonderful food, and again, it was all about the family. So we had our laughs and sharing stories, and the food was grade A. And then the last thing that we did was visit a place called River and Post Rooftop Bar. I believe it was about 20 stories high, but it had a very nice view at nighttime of of downtown Jacksonville. So that was pretty cool to enjoy. And yeah, Jacksonville has definitely quite a few things to offer out there. Hess, have you gone to Jacksonville or know anything about it?
I've been through Jacksonville many years ago, um, on my way home from the military with I call it the Greyhound bus, went through Jack. Yeah, that's a very interesting uh, terminal. If you've never taken Greyhound, it's like a train station. Really, really.
Oh, nice.
But I've never been in the actual city up there.
All right. Well, it's definitely a beautiful place. So hopefully next time I go to visit my tia Candela, which great job. Thank you, tia, for sharing all of that with us so we can get to see some new things. All right. So my number 9, again, top 10 list of what I'm going to be sharing here for Bogies topics. Miami Vice. Yeah. And I think I might have mentioned this a few times here and there, but so I bought the Blu-ray movie TV show, and I've been watching it. Actually, well, I got excited when I first got it. It was about 2 months ago. So I started watching season 1, but I kind of slowed down on it because I'm watching some other shows. So I kind of want to finish those shows and then come back to the Miami Vice to focus on it. But as many of you know, Miami Vice was a huge TV show. I believe 80s and early 90s, 5 seasons, and a lot of people, which is true, really thought and probably felt that Miami Vice was on for like 7 or 10 seasons. It just felt like they were all over the place for such a long time. But no, it was just 5 seasons. And so I've always wanted to watch Miami Vice, and I've looked for it on YouTube, and to find any episodes. And
You've never seen it before now? You've never seen it before now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Growing up, it came out on Friday nights, but unfortunately, I didn't. I wasn't watching every Friday night. I didn't, sit there for 5 years in a row to watch every single episode. So, I would catch the few episodes here and there, but Miami Vice is definitely, part of my, growing up. And so, now having the capacity of being able to buy, a Blu-ray set, because, back in the day, this concept was, hey, is there a rerun? You got to look for it in your TV guide, and hopefully you have the time and find it and go ahead and watch it then. But now we have the wonderful capacity of having an actual media or streaming. There are streaming services that have a lot of these amazing 80s and 90s TV shows that you can go ahead and look at. So I'll report to you guys later on as I start getting back into the Miami Vice. But season 1, man, I can see why it was amazing. And I'm a 80s guy, so I grew up in the 80s, even though I was born in the 70s. 80s was, when I was, 9, 10, 11 years old, growing up watching my own TV shows and stuff. And Miami Vice is definitely, part of my upbringing. So, when I got to watch that season 1, it was just wonderful, even though it was Miami, because I grew up in New York. But the clothing, the cars, the city, the streets, I mean, all of that stuff, man, it just brings me back to those days. So Miami Vice.
The merch was
great. Yeah.
The merch was off the chain. Let me finish. I'll tell you my thing on the merch on that off the chain.
Oh my God, no, I can. Yeah, no. Miami Vice was. I mean, even clothing trend setting. The way they would dress up, the guys, started dressing up like that. So when you have a TV show that is, changing the way people, dress up, I mean, it's ridiculous. All right, so at number 8, this is a very simple one, but Chinese buffet. As many as my family and friends know, I enjoy Chinese buffet. Let's see, I think a few months ago, I was actually on a trend. I was going to Chinese buffet at least 3 times, 3 weekends out of the month. I mean, that's quite a bit, but still, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. And it's funny, sometimes, I go with a group of friends or my son, or sometimes I might even go by myself. And, I still enjoy it. Now, A lot of the guys that that come with me know that I am enjoy a dinner and a movie. Meaning, when I go to do my Chinese buffet, I have my laptop with me, and I go ahead and watch a movie, and that's how much I enjoy it. So yeah, so Chinese buffet. So if you've never tried it before, you should check it out. There's a lot of great food in there. It's well, unlimited. Of course, you're not going to be there for hours, but and it depends on the Chinese buffet. So you have to look around. I'm blessed that here where I live, there's two stages of Chinese buffet. There's the regular one, which is pretty decent, has pretty good food. And it's pretty affordable. And then there's what I would say the higher class. It costs a little more, but there's more variety of food, and also the atmosphere. Because you'll go to some Chinese buffets where the atmosphere, they haven't spent much money on it. It's pretty old. It's been there for a long time. And then you'll notice the other ones that are a little more high end. They really look beautiful inside. So, and listen, it's just like anything. If you have an old house, that's what you experience. If you have a brand new house, that's what you experience. So, yeah, Chinese buffet is something that I thoroughly enjoy. At number 7, let's see. There's a Netflix show called Casa de Papel, or in English, which Netflix calls it, The Bank Heist. Have you heard of this one, Hess?
I haven't watched it, but I've seen the coming attractions.
Oh my goodness!
I'm finishing a couple other things before I watch that.
What happened?
I said I'm finishing a couple other things before I watch that.
Yeah, and you know what? Talking about that topic, it's a terrible thing. There's so much stuff out there, and that's why I say I got to go back to Miami Vice, because even though I got excited when I got the Blu-ray set in my hand, I mean, I was still watching a few other things on the way, but yeah, Casa de Papel, or Bank Heist, as it's known in Netflix, is a show, and I'll give you a quick history on it. So this is a show that came out in Spain, so it's all in Spanish. Now they did 2 seasons of it, and over there they recorded it. They had their cast, their crew, the production company, everything. It was all done in Spain, and they came out with 2 seasons. And it looked like the first season was doing okay, but by the second season, it kind of dropped in viewership. And you know what that means? Dinero. So if something drops, I mean, nobody's going to produce shit. So, they went ahead and just dropped it after the second season. Now, Netflix, which you guys know is a monster in the media, they're out there not only streaming movies, but making movies. And they went ahead and, I guess, God bless whoever was the person executive that that saw something about the show. They picked it up and they said, we're gonna go ahead and give you guys money to do a season 3 and 4. So and let me give you a little more backstory before that. I think I might have heard of the show, but not much. But when I was at work, and this was like last year, towards the end of last year, I had a few coworkers tell me, "Hey, have you ever seen this show?" And they just ranted, and they said it was great, and you got to watch it, and so forth. And I mean, there's so much going on out there to watch that I was kind of apprehensive, like, if I get to it. Well, when I did get to it, I happened to come across it going on Netflix. Man, I watched that first episode and I got hooked. So that's how I got into it. So anyway, so season 3 and 4 were the official Netflix seasons. And let me tell you something. You could check out the documentary, which is really cool. They didn't advertise the Bank Heist on Netflix. They just threw their season 3 and 4 on there. But it just by itself, and when something by itself organically just starts picking up, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's just like a juggernaut. The viewership, and they got the top 10 things you can watch on Netflix. It just started rising, and it became a phenomenon. So yeah, the bank heist. If you have not seen it, check it out. I know. Add it to your playlist. Our freaking playlists are fucking ridiculous with so much streaming and movies and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's forget about it.
It's crazy, man. All right, so that's that one. So let's see. Next one got the Ghostbusters trailer. Too bad GB is not here, but anyway, I know we're gonna be talking Ghostbusters later on. But the Ghostbusters trailer, this is the I believe is the second official trailer that has come out. Man, and
Yeah,
we're two tough dudes here from the '80s that know about Ghostbusters, the phenomena of Ghostbusters, and really cool to see this third third movie coming out on it. So have you gotten to see it, Hess?
the second trailer, no, the first one, yes.
Oh, okay.
I haven't. I heard the second one came out recently. Nothing but good reviews about it. So I'm looking forward to watching it and waiting for the movie to come out.
Yeah, man.
I like the storyline too. I like how they're molding everything back in. So
Yeah,
good.
And whenever they do movies like that, I mean, they need to always make sure that they bring something back from whatever that originator was. So just like nostalgia movies, like Rocky and Rambo. When Sylvester Stallone, like in the last 5 years, 5 or 10 years, he came out with the latest of that, of those movies that that it has a feel and a look of the original.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the Ghostbusters trailer definitely had, even though it's the new generation, but cool to see the car and the Slimer and some of the stuff that they share with us on there. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Can't wait for GB to share his insight on this.
It's
All right.
funny. It's funny, real quick. I was watching. I told you I was watching that Netflix thing, the movies that made us, and they talk about Ghostbusters. And
yeah. Go ahead, finish.
oh, I was going to say
something else to say.
Oh, and Ghostbusters was originally called Ghost Breakers because they couldn't license the Ghostbuster name. But I'll tell you about that later.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's funny you mentioned that. The movie that made us. I started to watch. I was halfway through, but again, for the guys that know me, my all-time favorite movie, Back to the Future. They got that season 2 of the movies that made us, and the first one is Back to the Future. So that was awesome to see. I mean, I've pretty much seen most documentaries or most behind the scenes of Back to the Future, but they had a few extra little things there and mentions that I didn't know about. So,
I didn't know Michael J. Fox was not picked right away.
Oh, really?
That was news to me. I was like, how could you not have Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly? So yeah, I watched the whole season. It was good.
Interesting story on that. I'll mention a little bit, but yeah, you have to look at it, look into it yourself. But originally, they did want Michael J. Fox. Unfortunately, he was in Family Ties, and he was just doing big things at that point, so they couldn't get him. So they got another actor, which
Eric Stoltz.
There you go, Eric Stoltz, which was good, but the humor and the acting that the Bobs were looking for was just not there. So it was amazing how they were able to, I guess you could call it, swindle their way into showing, hey, look, this is not working with this guy, and you guys did promise us if it didn't work with us, we can go ahead and reshoot, which is like unheard of. You don't reshoot just because you don't like an actor or something doesn't go right. But they were able to do that, and you know what? Thank goodness that they had that opportunity. So they worked something out where Michael J. Fox was able to, and actually Michael J. Fox he, poor guy. I mean, as young as he was, I mean, of course, at that age, you got all this energy, but he was pulling some long acting shifts because the priority was the deal was that priority was for him to do Family Ties, which that was it would take a whole week, the whole week of his time, but any extra time, then he would be able to work on Back to the Future. So
Yeah.
just think about doing an 8 or 10 hour workday, and then being driven over to the set to do, Back to the Future, and then driven. And literally, they said that the car that was driving him had they set up like a little bed in the back, so he can rest and at least get maybe 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep before he would go on to back to the set of Family Ties the next day. Wow, Michael J. Fox, trooper.
When I was watching that whole series, I was thinking of your son and how he should watch that, because it was a lot of stories about what it takes to get movies made. So that was a lot of very good, interesting series.
Yeah. He started watching that with me, and then we're definitely gonna watch some of the other ones, because I mean, this is all great. This is all. Hey, and if you notice, a lot of these movies are 80s, 90s. Great stuff, man. A great time to live in. All right, so let's see. My number 6, I got Loki. Yeah, it's pretty good. Marvel is
I want to see that.
Kicking ass with all these miniseries. And I've watched them all so far. The Falcon, Scarlet Witch, all of them have just been great. And Loki, man, Loki took it up another notch for Marvel Studios. And I mean, the production value is like you're fucking sitting down watching a movie. I mean, this is what you watch, even though it came out every Wednesday, 40 minutes at a time or whatever it was. But I mean, the quality, the storytelling, the acting, I mean, everything is like you're watching another Marvel movie, which is always an hour and a half to 2 hours. So if you haven't seen Loki, man, you got to check it out. Of course, it's on Disney Plus. But this is definitely setting up what this next phase of these Marvel movies are going to be about. And great stuff, man. And I've gotten to be more enamored with the character of Loki, man. He, the actor has done a really great job to make that character, himself. He embodies that so well. So Loki is definitely something you got to check out. All right, let's see. So I had Casa de Papel, Ghostbusters trailer, Loki. All right, and my number 4, Sliders.
Good show.
So this is a show that came out, I believe it was 1990, about 5 seasons, 96, 95 to 2000. So it was 5 seasons, and I've mentioned it before. I did get the DVD set, and I got this about a year ago. Now, unfortunately, they never got it to the up to the Blu-ray version, but the DVD set is fine. And so Sliders came out, and again, it was one of those other shows. I don't know about you, Hess, man, but I really never, as a kid, never got to like sit down and every Friday watch every episode of every season of whatever show we were looking at. The Incredible Hulk, the Dukes of Hazzard, the Love Boat. I mean, all those shows. I mean, I sat down, and maybe if I was busy or playing around, I was off somewhere else. So I didn't watch every single episode of everything. Now, what this is giving me an opportunity is, to watch, everything pretty much. But I know back in the day when I did catch those few episodes of Sliders, I just loved it. I just love anything that is, going back in time or forward in time or alternate universes. So Sliders is about that. Basically, it's about a young teenager. He invents a machine that takes him to other alternate worlds. And when I'm talking about uh-oh, that's 25 minutes, so we got 5 minutes here to wrap this up. So basically, it takes them to an alternate world. For example, the episode number 1 took him to an alternate world where the Russians took over the United States. So the money was in rubles, the soldiers were Russian. All the Russian society that we saw happen in the 90s was here in the United States. So checkpoints and all that other terrible stuff that democracy, that only democracy gives. So that communist state and all that was here in the United States. Imagine living like something like that.
No.
But that's an alternate universe. So yeah, Sliders is about like an infinite worlds that someone can slide to. And kind of a good example to give is a roulette wheel, right? A roulette wheel has you throw the ball and it just lands into any one of the 100 little spokes. So that's kind of like what Sliders is. They go ahead and go into the next world, but they really don't have. He really doesn't have control of it and can land anywhere. He can land in a place where society was eaten up by dinosaurs, and there were no cavemen, so it was only dinosaurs running the world. Or a world where the ice caps completely melted because we were ridiculous with our manufacturing and the ozone and all of that, so the oceans are like, forget about Florida and everything. I mean, the oceans are risen. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So if you guys never seen it, at least go on YouTube, you can see reviews on it, you can see recaps and so forth. So right now, out of the 5 seasons, I'm about to see. I got one more episode to finish on season 4. So it's a lot of fun, man. I've caught up with so much. I understand Sliders so much more, and I have a definitely more appreciation for it. All right. So at number 3, fasting. So as many of my friends and family know, I've done a 9-month fasting and lost 75 pounds. So after I accomplished that first phase, which I'm calling it phase 1 of my life, I'm working on phase 2 now. Phase 2 is pretty much 2 things that I'm focusing on, which is keeping my weight between 2 and 210. So that is the focus. I'm not gonna, let myself go again, because it's ridiculous. I mean, the older you get, the slower the metabolism gets, the easier it is for health and medical complications to hit you. Because think about it, you're not you're not a youngling anymore. Okay, so your body has to do a lot more. But yeah, fasting has definitely helped me, and right now I'm doing intermittent fasting, which I'm kind of keeping at about 1 meal a day, about 5 days out of the week. And the other 2 days I kind of enjoy myself here and there, but I'm being definitely more conscious with my eating habits. And then the second thing I'm doing in my phase 2 is exercise. So I can share with you guys that right now I'm developing my own, because this is the only way I can do things, my own exercise regimen. So I'm working on that, and once I get that down packed, that is something that I'm going to go ahead and focus on. And don't be surprised if a year from now you might see some guns. I'm talking about like real guns, like big ones. So yeah, I'm really focusing on my physical aspect of it, and I want to be here for a long time, man. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? All right. At number 2, so real quick, because I know I just got a few minutes left. AFI, top 100 movies of all time. So this is a list that I went ahead and shared with all my friends from TGA and the few co-workers and family members. It's a list of the top American Film Institute movies, and on that list is just the best of the best, the creme of the creme of the last 100+ years of movies, which goes back to Charlie Chaplin, Humphrey Bogart, Clint Eastwood, Sylvester Stallone, and in the latest list, they actually added a few extra ones. So you do have Titanic on there, which I believe was there before. But at number 9, Toy Story. Yeah, Toy Story. If you have not seen Toy Story, if you don't have kids, Toy Story. Toy Story 1. All the other ones are great also, but Toy Story 1 was definitely something that was an amazing movie to watch and experience. And I watched it probably like 20 times, under circumstances of having kids. But yeah, you definitely need to check out that movie if you've never seen it, and it's just an amazing experience. All right, now my last topic of Bogey's Roundtable here is, and this one I'm gonna throw towards Hess if he wants to share here, or maybe in the next topic. But on a given week, and I want you guys to think yourselves, on a given week, what is your media experience? Like, what do you do on a daily basis? Like, what media, what apps do you look at to get your information, to see your movies, to see your TV shows, to see the latest in news, the latest in gossip, the latest in sports, the latest in whatever? I'll share basically what I have. I have Facebook. I have, Facebook page. So I just really focus. I really don't search nothing on there. I just look at whatever my notifications are. I recently got Instagram, and that was this year in 2020, 2021, I believe. Instagram, I never see. I really did not want to. I really don't want to get into having Twitter and TikTok and Plick-Plock and Chick-Chock. I mean, having 100 personal medias, and some people do. God bless you. Do your thing. But I think Facebook is probably the for me anyway, the best medium where I can be in contact with families, friends, share things, know that it's hitting my circle of influence, and keeping it at there. But not needing to go onto Twitter and to TikTok and to all those other mediums. So yeah, so I have Facebook. I do have the Instagram. I get a few notifications there, which I'm glad. And then I got my WhatsApp. So there's a few group chats of families and friends and things that I'll check on a daily basis. And what else? And then the other place, I go to YouTube. I go to YouTube and watch documentaries and whatever comes up on my feed that looks interesting. And that's kind of how I have my media experience on a weekly basis. So but I really don't go into, I don't know, news sources too much, or just if something is trending, usually it gets to me and then I'll look into it. So that's kind of my media experience. So Hess, so for your topic, if you don't mind sharing with us, your media experience, and on a weekly basis, how it is, what it is that you do to get your latest and greatest info and stuff. All right?
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. The Bogey Roundtable. Kind of gave you guys a recap on most of the things that I'm working on or going through or watching or seeing. So hope you guys enjoyed that, and we're gonna go ahead and end this topic number 1 here of season 2, episode 16 of the CREW After Hours. So sign out, Hess.
Yeah, Lulus.
That's it. And this is your man Bogy saying, enough said.